simple shovels. And the shovels, they dug an entire well. You can imagine it was long and hard work. So finally, when they reached water, they were of course eager to taste it. Now it turns out that the water in this well, it was really bad quality. It was soft water, almost undrinkable. And the locals, they didn't want all this hard work to go to waste. So they decided that what they need to do is ask the wisest men in the city to do what they must to fix the quality of the water. And the wisest men in the city, you might be wondering, who were they? Well, in the medieval times it was quite easy. Since most people couldn't read or write, then the monks, with their big books and the writing pills, the monks seemed like the smartest. And that's why they asked the holiest of them all, Brother Albert, for his advice in this matter. And let's come 2 steps closer. You see, it's a white horse, must be a knight. And thus it was that the holiest of them all, Brother Albert, he told us that yes, it's very easy. In order to fix the water quality in this well, you just need to take a couple of cats and throw them into the well. Because apparently cats improve water quality. Can you believe that nobody questioned him? Everybody was, oh, okay, yeah, that's a good plan. So 2 weeks and 13 cats later, nobody wanted to taste the water anymore. The smell was getting so bad, they actually sealed up the well and haven't opened it ever since. So we don't know what's going on in there, we don't want to know. But the name remains the Cat's Well. And now, having ruined the only source of drinking water in the city, the people, they had no other option than to start going outside of the city walls to a nearby river. And you can imagine carrying in river water on your backs. It was hard work. And you had to do it every single day because the river water, it doesn't preserve itself. It's only drinkable on the first or the second day, and then it starts turning green and slimy and nasty. And now, carrying in water every day, this was taking up so much time and effort that the merchants, they felt like they were missing out on life while they were doing this. And of course, they needed a solution. And also, to this city had arrived the Dominican monk order. So they were the monks famous for brewing different drinks. You might have heard of their schnapses, yeah, little drinks. But when they came here and saw what was going on with the river water, they were saying that, guys, what you really need to do is to start brewing something out of this river water. And that's how the local German merchants, they started brewing beer, very good! The wine of the north. Because it's so cold up here that the grapes don't grow, so we don't have any wine. Instead, we have beer. And now, when the locals realized this, that the beer was indeed the way to go, because beer, it lasts for much longer. It has alcohol inside, which kills the bacteria in the river water. They decided that beer will become the official drink of the town. So drinking water was actually frowned upon. And everybody, even the children, were drinking beer. Appreciation for it. So the locals, they decide that what they need to do is prove to the Pope that beer is indeed a worthy drink. And so they brewed the greatest barrel of beer in the history of mankind and shipped it off to Vatican. And it got there really quick by the medieval standards. Only 3 months on the road, yeah, like this. The only problem was that it was the summertime. It was very hot outside, so the content of the barrel had actually turned sour on the way. Know about it? He was very excited. Oh, there's a present for me from faraway lands. What could this be? So he takes his drinking cup, goes up to the barrel, has the first taste of the beer, spits it out, so nasty that he actually has the barrel burnt to make sure that nobody ever touches that stuff again. And I know you might now think that this is it, the end of the story, no more beer for us. But as a little twist of fate, the Pope actually sat down for a moment and thought about the situation. Because what was going on? Why had they gone through so much trouble to send him a barrel of this poison? So as he sits there, he starts to pray, and suddenly he realizes that suffering is something that puts you in connection with the divine. If you're miserable in this life, you go to paradise. So if you suffer and, if you are miserable, then you also become a good Christian. And he realizes that the local monks and nuns, they must be forcing the pagan Estonians to drink this nasty drink of beer. So they will finally go to church and come to the fold of the Christ. So once he realizes that, the Pope, of course, allows us to continue brewing beer. And today we are all working in a city called Tallinn, yeah? You know the name Tallinn? Of course. So when the king Valdemar II, the Danish king, he came here and conquered these castles of Estonians up on the hills, this city came to be. So 1219 is actually considered the birth date of Tallinn, of our city, and therefore this year we are coming 800 years old. So this is our birthday celebration you see here around you today. And Tallinn has actually been the name of the city for only the past 100 years. Before that, Reval, in the middle, was the name for our city. And Reval, what it means and where the name actually comes from, I will tell you in our next stop. So, Orevals, Master Björn, are you ready?
I am ready.
Very good. Let's proceed.